everyone, it's Kate from the Forward Line. I am back this week with a book review. I haven't done one of these for ages. I've got a really fab book to talk to you about and I think you guys are going to love it as much as I do. So, the fantastic girls who run Named Clothing, which is, for those if you haven't heard of them, they are an indie pattern company, and I'll pop a link below to the blog post about this book, but also a link to all of their patterns so you can go and have a look. They have released their second book. So Laura and Saara, who run it together, are sisters, and this is their second book that they've released. So the first one was called Breaking the Pattern, and I think we did a book review for that, which I'll pop a link down below to. And this book is called Building the Pattern, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it because it is fantastic. We got sent this, just full disclosure, we got sent this by the publisher with no, we actually asked whether we could have one because we're really excited for it to come out. So yes, I'm going to talk you through it. Right, so here is the cover of the book so you can have a look. It is really nice, as usual, beautifully laid out, and it's got this really nice sort of bronzy writing. If I show it to you on the side, you get a bit more of an idea. So half of this bit of the book is actually where all your patterns come, and then this is the kind of proper book. It does look that actually you could pull them apart if you wanted to, if you didn't want the kind of other bit, but yeah. As usual, beautiful aesthetic from Named, very simple, really nicely laid out. I'm super impressed with this. So, core things to know. Sizing, it comes in a UK 6 to 22. There are 6 patterns included. I'll talk you through those now. So, the pattern sheets come at the back of the book. It's the same as usual, double-sided, you need to trace them off. They are like this, I'll show you. So each pattern piece is in a different colour. So actually it makes it really, really clear for you to see how to trace off, because I find that and they're not super overlapped either. It's not kind of Burda style craziness. So the quality of the paper, it's quite thin. I'd say probably like 60 GSM. It's opaque, so you can't see through it really, but yeah, you will have to trace them off. There are a couple of little things one thing that I really loved about this is at the bottom of each page is numbered, but they also have a description at the bottom of which pattern pieces, which pattern pieces are on this page. So it gives you the number of the pattern piece and describing, which pattern it is, which I think is really helpful because you can quickly look through and be like, whichever one you're making, say you're making the Eloisa, you can pull those all out and quickly work out where you are. So the one thing I would say is just the layout and all the details on this book are so fantastic. Like, they have really, really thought of everything. Even to the point that at the back where you've got to your pattern bit, they have re-put the sizing on there, telling you how to use it. They've got a guideline of what all the markings are on the patterns if you don't know. It's really beautifully done. So the concept of the book, Building the Pattern, is teaching you about fit, and a lot of sewing pattern books do a little bit of fit advice at the front and give you sort of basic terminology and how to do it, but this is actually quite extensive in this book. I would say, having looked at it, it's about a quarter of the book is showing you how to manipulate a pattern to make it fit better, and it's done really well. If you've used Named patterns before, the layout and the feel of it is very similar to their patterns. It's very nicely laid out, it's very clean and easy to use. So at the beginning, what they teach you, it's quite detailed and really useful and very nicely laid out. So they start with really basic alterations on the front and a general sort of chit chat about what you're doing. There's some, they mainly have drawn, illustrations, and then they do have some imagery, but the kind of core thing are these images down the bottom. So they start with sort of basic things, and then they move on to things like lengthening and shortening within trousers and tops, which you can see here. Again, they've got these nice kind of really well designed little illustrations that give you a really kind of clear idea of how to do that. Then they tell you how to move seams. And then they start on the sort of adjustment parts. So this was the bit that I found really useful. So what they do is they show you the issue. So this is like an issue with a bust. If I come in here, you can see, there we go. So you can see here it's showing you where it's pulling on the bust on a tighter top and a loose fitting top, and then underneath it shows you what the solution is, so how that is going to look on your pattern pieces, the alterations. Then once they've done that, they start explaining to you how to do that. So it's really nicely done, and it really makes it very clear about how to change things. And also, sometimes I definitely know I've put on items of clothing that aren't fitting properly and I can't quite work out what the issue is. So actually looking at this and looking at the garment, seeing where the pull lines are and working out what the issue is that needs fixing, I think is really fantastic. So they do that for, so the bust, excessive ease, they show you then how to fix it. They do insufficient chest breadth, excessive chest breadth, and how to kind of fix it. Changing the point on the dart to sit so it sits where it should properly. Some people have a higher bust and some people have a lower bust. Alterations on the waist. And I'll show you this because I think the images on this one are quite a bit bigger, so it really does give you an idea. So bottoms on trouser fitting, so a prominent or a flat butt, and it shows you how to fix that. But if I come in with the illustrations, they're a bit bigger on this page, so you can really see here. So you can see what the problem is, and then the solution is here, of what you're going to do on the pattern and how you're going to tweak it. So it's really sort of nicely done. I found this really useful, and just myself, there's been a couple of things I haven't ever sorted the fit on, and it's made me being like, great, okay, I can do that now. So loads and loads of really good stuff. So if you are interested in learning about the fit a bit, I think this would be fantastic. I'm a huge Name to Clothing fan. I've made quite a lot of their stuff. So yeah, just to give you an idea on the book, that much of it is kind of pattern help and fitting. So you do get a really good chunk. Then the next bit, which actually to me, I don't know why more sewing books don't have this. They then have all the patterns laid out on a double page spread with the line drawings and each, the way each variation within the pattern. So I'm going to show you. So the 6 patterns are called Sorja, Eloisa, Louvre, Helia, Varma and Kulas. I'm sure I've pronounced at least 99% of those incorrectly. But I will show you the line drawings and then you can see the kind of core patterns and the changes. So here we go. So this is the first, so this is the sort of double page spread, which is really nice, and it explains at the top each kind of what you can make with each kind of core pattern block. And then if I come in a little closer, you can see these are the sort of line drawings of the patterns. I mean, really, really great shapes. I love the jumpsuit. Yeah, fantastic. Right, so, sorry, I keep kind of zooming in and out. Right, once you've seen that, then it moves into quite standard format with each pattern. So the first one I'll show you is the Sorja. This was that really kind of beautiful floaty top. So the cover page is lovely. So it's got a couple of images which I'll show you, and it also tells you what you can make with this particular pattern. So it says top, dress, wrap, dress and wrap skirt. So that's the sort of cover page for each pattern, like that. And then it moves into the fabric requirements and the finished garment measurements, anything sort of extra notions that you will need for this. Again, I love this. The pattern charts are really nice and big, really easy to follow. The layout of this book is fantastic. So yeah, you get a really clear idea of how, you know, it's just easy to read. Next up are the cutting guides, which I think are really fantastic. Again, these are on big page spreads, so you can see here, it gives you a breakdown of each pattern pieces and how many, the sort of names, how many you need to cut and whether it's cut on the fold or not. Then you've got your lay plans, which are here, which are, again, really nicely done. So for this, there's a couple of pages of those because there's, you know, it shows you sort of the variations within the pattern. And then you get onto the instructions. As usual, beautifully laid out, really nice and clean and clear, and very similar if you've used their patterns to the way that they lay out their instruction booklets on their patterns. So nice big illustrations. That was one thing I really enjoyed, how big the illustrations were. It feels quite spaced out. It's not all sort of crammed in together. I'll just show you another page of illustrations so you get an idea. And they're sort of interspersed with images of the patterns, so sort of lifestyle shots alongside them. Yeah, it's a really nicely laid out book. So that's the first one, and then it kind of goes through and shows you all the variations within that. The next one is the Eloisa, and again, this is the cover, so you can make a tunic, a sweater, a circled skirt dress, and a mermaid skirt dress from this. So there you go, you've got your lovely double page spread there, showing you kind of some of the things that you can make. And even if you're unsure about it further, as you go through, it again shows you sort of lifestyle shots of the garments throughout the book. So it's really nice, because I sometimes, if you struggle with looking at the line drawings thinking how will that look on a person, it's nice to have those. So again, yeah, I'll just give you kind of, there are a few here. This one's got a couple of photographs to kind of make things a bit clearer, but it's laid out really nicely and really kind of clearly. So the next one we have got is the Luova, which I think is my favourite one. It's the shirt dress. It's a blouse, dress and tunic. So this, I love this double kind of pleat on the collar. I think it's really beautiful detail, and I also love this variant. So I think that one, that feels to me like that one's going to be a really popular one. And again, you know, the layout's very similar, really nice pictures, a few photographs, illustrations. So the next one is the Helia. This is a pencil dress, peplum top and mermaid dress. And I've sort of noticed now as I'm looking through it again that the patterns sort of get more advanced as you kind of go further back in the book. So that one is that one. Then we've got Varma, which is a trouser, short and jumpsuit, which I adore this. I think this is beautiful. So really nice. I love the trousers with that high tie as well. I think this is a really strong, really strong pattern. And again, this one's actually got quite a lot of instructions because obviously it's slightly more complicated. It's got some tips on alterations here as well. And those are the trousers, the trouser version. And then, so we move on. Actually, this is a good page, actually. I'll show you just this. It does give you a really kind of clear, very clear layout, really nice, simple, beautiful. And then the last one is the Kulas, which I'm again pretty sure I've said incorrectly. And these are two kind of jacket variants, a kind of bombery style jacket and then a sort of more tailored jacket with a wrap option. I think these are gorgeous. I love this one with the tie. Let's see if I can find another picture of it. Actually, if I show you that, that kind of gives you an idea of the two line drawings of it, so you can see. So those are the two. Yeah, so I'd say, I should have said this right at the beginning, because I think this is probably aimed more at an intermediate maker. But I think if you've made a couple of garments and you want to push yourself, I think this is a really good option to go for. I'm a huge fan of named patterns. I think the instructions are really fantastic. It's very clear, the illustrations, everything I've always made, I've never made anything that's gone wrong with them. And I think that's because everything is so well thought out. The book is beautiful. It's kind of a matte finish on the paper on it, and at the back there's a glossary of terms as well, so if you're confused about, you know, certain things that you read, you can go to the back and read that. So there's kind of then a couple of pages telling you, you know, phrases, everything from an alteration line to a back stitch to a bar tack, that sort of thing. So it really does hold your hand. It's just such a beautiful book. And I think if you're looking for something to kind of get you back into sewing, or you just feel like treating yourself, I think this is a really good option. It's published by Hard Grant with Quadrille, who do a lot of sewing books. So I knew as soon as I saw who were publishing it, it was going to be kind of really high quality. And yeah, I definitely love this. So I'm delighted. I think I'm going to make the shirt dress version at some point this summer. I think it'll be nice and floaty. But I hope that was useful. There'll be a blog post alongside this. I'll pop a few pictures of inside of the book as well, so you get more of an idea. But I hope that was useful, and we'll be back soon with another video. Bye!